So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our video of Mars in the 7th house in Libra for Aries ascendant people. And what happens when Mars is in the 7th house, okay, for Aries ascendant people. And as all but you do not know if you have this particular position, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, along with all your astrological details. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Vedic Astrology Academy, where you will find all of my courses, my books, consultations, and of course my KRS vlogs, where I'm actually going to put another cool video once I make that on YouTube here regarding Saturn. So, Mars in the 7th house for Aries ascendant people. So, what is the 7th house? 7th house represents marriage, business partnership. 7th house represents, gains and fame in your career. Represents your maternal grandmother. Represents, your second property. It represents the edge of the property. It represents, roads. I mean, there's so many things that 7th house represents. Now, Mars rules the 1st house, which is you, and the 8th house, which is transformation, life of the marriage. So when Mars is in the 7th house, first of all, a person will have very transformative and very unusual, unorthodox relationships and marriage in their life. See that? Dog barked. That means this is a very important thing that I'm saying here. This is why you got to pay attention to the omens. Every time whenever I hear dog bark, even during my readings, I know what I'm saying is something very much important and something that attention should be paid to. Now, why unorthodox relationships and marriage? Whenever you are taking a planet in a certain house, and I made a video on this before called the heart of the nakshatras. For example, Venus is the lord of the Dharma. Venus is Dharma. Not even Jupiter. Venus is Dharma. Why? Because Venus rules the middle of all the fire signs. So now when it's in Libra, when we're looking at Mars in Libra, what is at the heart of the sign of Libra? Rahu. Rahu will control all the air axis triangle, Trikon. And Rahu is the Swati nakshatra. It is the most unorthodox, wild nakshatra. It's the outcast nakshatra, not only because it's Rahu, but astronomically the star of Swati, okay? The name just went out of my head and I knew it. God, it's a very known name of the sun. But anyway, Swati is outside the belt, the southern belt of the planets where they go through. Swati will always be far away from where the actual planets are going. So it shows, because the star is so far away from the region of Libra, it shows everything happens far away from all the interaction for a Swati individual. Because we're looking at the 7th house, represents marriage and relationships. For example, this person marry a foreign partner, marry a person outside of their country or home or city, and especially naturally shows heartbreaks in relationship, like a sphere in the heart. But the thing is, it is not the other person. It is you putting the sphere in. Why? Because a planet, wherever it goes, is trying to control something. So what happens here? Mars is the 1st house. You are trying to control the partner, control the marriage, control the relationship. Then what also happens is, with this particular Mars also ruling the 8th house of transformation, shows marriage brings in transformation. Relationships will always bring transformation, especially if this Mars is not afflicted. You will see when this person is in a relationship, especially in the age where they have a job, they have a career. Career starts going up. When they get married, career starts going up. Their interaction with the bosses increase. Although this is a particular Mars that a person is very adamant about wanting to do business, wanting to be an entrepreneur. Why? Because Mars is independent. Mars is a soldier. Mars doesn't want to deal with daily 9 to 5 jobs. It has its own hours. It's not like soldier has to wake up at certain time and then go to sleep at certain time because, okay, well, it's 5 o'clock. Okay, I'm going to go home. I'm going to put my gun down. Okay, guys, on the other side of the river, I'll try to kill you guys tomorrow. It's not like that. It's 24/7. It's on alert. Perhaps the job that you're supposed to do as a soldier is done in 1 hour instead of like, a whole week at a normal job, whatever project that was. So this is why, this soldier mentality comes in and makes a person very independent. But also this will cause conflict at least once in your relationship or marriage with your mother. You will fight your mother because of the marriage or relationship. And especially, there will be some conflict related to property, land, real estate that may be infused by the spouse. So, for example, you have brothers, sisters, and your spouse is feeling like, well, I think you should get majority of the property because you're the one doing this, this, and this. And then you get influenced, you're like, oh yeah, I should. Okay, I'm going to talk to my mother. Mother, I hope I get this property. And mother's like, no, you got 3 brothers and sisters. You're not getting this thing. And that's where the conflict occurs. And the simplest thing to remember with these things are, if something is not destined to come in your hand, especially when it comes to inheritance, wills and estates, and property, okay, if it's not meant to be, it will never be. You can hire the top lawyer. Okay? You can go fight in the court, fight with the family members. If it's not meant for you, you're not getting it. But if it's meant for you, you can actually hire lawyers to make sure you don't get that property. You will get that property. You warn your family, don't give me all of this inheritance. I don't want it. And yet, if it's destined to come to you in this life, nothing can stop it. Nothing can stop it. So never ever try to fight about some property, some asset with your sibling, with your parents, or even the spouse, if they want to leave you. If that property is supposed to stay with you, that piece of land is supposed to stay with you, it'll stay with you, regardless of how bad the other person is. Regardless of how bad the spouse was and they want to divorce you, and you're just wondering, am I going to get this or not? Well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Because I see too many emails full of drama with the family occurring on these things, especially in India. There's a split property. In India, the concept of Batvara, that's something that doesn't really occurs in the Western world. It does, but not so much. In India, it becomes a very prominent thing, the inheritance part. So don't let this particular Mars here influence your judgment and especially bring out that anger, because this Mars becomes wild with the anger, yet becomes extremely passionate in relationship and marriage. When you have a relationship with this person, Mars in the 7th, it is a type of relationship you will never forget. Never, ever, ever forget. It is that one thing you will always feel like, wow, that was amazing. Even though that person was mean, no matter what happens, parents interfered, relationship never manifested into marriage, but you will remember that particular person with Mars in the 7th house. That's the quality that they bring. They bring that like that movie-like hero quality, that movie-like heroine quality. Like, wow, I got an actual romantic experience. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Mars in the 7th house of your birth chart. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. If you want to know where your Mars is placed, all your astrological details, for that, check out the link here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.